Okay, team, chapter 4, here we go. Chapter 4, we are moving into the revising phase. Again, this is the third and final step in the writing process and accounts for about 50% of the time we spent. Okay, our goal, make business messages concise, clear, and readable. And you know by readable, I mean skimmable. Number 2, proofread problem areas, what commonly goes wrong. And then thirdly, evaluate for effectiveness. Okay, so let's do it. First off, conciseness. It's a biggie. I use the word brevity a lot in class, but so oftentimes we decide to read a message or not just by the look, the word count. We deem it readable or not readable. So knowing that as the writer, we need to be concise. The goal of concise writing, once again, is brevity, to use the least word count in the most effective way. So our text gives us several things we need to be aware of. I'm just going to hit the high notes in this recording. Slash flabby expressions, purge long lead-ins, drop unnecessary words, reject redundancies, eliminate empty words. So let's hit it. The first one, slash flabby, if I could say that, expressions, word count, trim, get rid of any flab that is unnecessary. So shorten your message, be concise, and take out anything unnecessary. So oftentimes we'll see in the workplace just expressions that are unnecessary as a general rule of thumb, when instead we can just say generally, or potentially we could remove that word altogether. I'm going to jump down to this last one. This one I see often. In addition to the above information, please regard the following. Well, instead of a whole sentence that's just transitional, we can just simply add also. Or even better, if we're writing with brevity, we might not even need a transitional expression. So let's look at an example of slashing the flab. I see this often as a general rule of thumb. I like to arrive early. What could we get rid of here, folks? Take a moment. Well, in my opinion, we can get rid of the initial 5-6 words. We could just simply say, I like to arrive early to class, or generally, I arrive early to class. Again, concise. The second one is similar, long lead-ins. Again, we oftentimes write like we talk, and it is unnecessary in the workplace. So we want to get to the point because, again, when we're writing in an active tone, we tell the reader immediately in the sentence what the purpose is. So let's look at a sample. Please note that this early email is being sent to let everyone know that you may sign up for vacation slots starting February 1st. Okay, now notice, folks, sign up for vacation as of February 1st. That's the point. And we have 10, 12 words leading into that. So concise, let's purge here. You may sign up for vacation slots starting February 1st. Another sample purge. I would like to take a moment to tell each of you what an excellent job you are doing in business communications. Okay, what can we purge here? If I was stating this to the class, I would say you are doing an excellent job in Buscom. Again, I could hack 10 words right off the top. So purge long lead-ins. Number 3 item under the topic of concise, drop unnecessary words. Fillers, pronouns, prepositions, things that are just simply unnecessary, we can get rid of. Okay, sample. There are more women than men enrolled in college today. So this whole piece, there are more, is just delaying the point once again. So the concise expression would be, more women than men are currently enrolled in college. Second sample, it was a Facebook post that revealed the news. Concise rewrite, a Facebook post revealed the news. So we want to drop just anything unnecessary. Now, I used to lead a writing team and they called me machete editing because I was all about word count, taking out anything that is just simply a filler or unnecessary. Okay, so another sample. It has been said that failing to plan is planning to fail. Okay, again, we might say that in a verbal expression, But the real point here is failing to plan is planning to fail. We can get right to the point. Next up, we have redundancies. That is simply an expression that is repeating what you already said. So it is unnecessary. Now, these are commonplace in verbal dialect, but they have no place on the paper. So redundant, commonly used samples. That is absolutely essential. Well, that's adequate enough. Exactly identical. This one I see often in higher ed, a necessary prerequisite. Now notice these words are saying the same thing. So slash the redundancy, okay? So this one, growing up in Minnesota, I had to use by way of sample. How would you like to ride along with me to the football game? Okay, what can we reject here? Ride along with me, right? We're saying the same thing twice here. Would you like to ride with me to the football game? Reject anything that is a redundancy. Next up, eliminate empty words. Empty words are things that state the obvious. Again, things we say but have no place in business writing. Okay, so let's look at an example. I'm going to jump down to the second one here. In regard to the FedEx package, it was delivered at some point on Thursday. I will get notifications like this often because my family lives and exists off things that are delivered out of trucks in brown boxes. In regard to, okay, completely unnecessary and empty. At some point, completely unnecessary. Once eliminated, let's look at that. The FedEx package was delivered on Thursday. Now, in my attempt to be clear and concise, I would love to even timestamp. The FedEx package was delivered on Thursday, 3/3/22. Okay, so eliminating empty words is another one, okay? Let's look at a sample. I want you to think about how we could eliminate here. All things considered, it would be in the best interest of the team if we schedule a meeting at your earliest convenience. Oofta. Okay, so what are we really trying to say here? We need to schedule a meeting as soon as possible. Now notice how I took all these empty words that have nothing to do with the point and just got rid of them. So empty words are another thing. Okay, so this is something that we do in the classroom, but I will often receive letters from teachers about parties and field trips, and it's one big block of text. Okay, so go back to that planning phase when we thought birthday party invitation, the who, the what, the where, the when, and sometimes additional information. This is not how we write at work. We need to slash, get rid of, cut, whatever, all of that extra to be concise. Okay, next up, review for clarity. Oh my goodness, people, one of my favorite concepts in the world of business communication, white space. The less you have on your page, the more people read. Layer this in. Leave blank, simple white space. It is going to be that nonverbal cue to your reader that I can get through this and I can make sense out of it. Use white space, okay? So we touched on this earlier, but white space is any nonverbal element, okay? Now notice here there's space between the paragraphs. There's some variance in like size and boldness of font. There's spaces identifying groups of information. So anything you use non-verbally, spacing, bullets, numbers, list, headings, bold font, is creating white space. Now, I would rather look at this any day than a big block of text, because here's the thing. If I need to find something, I can go to my road sign and figure out what it is without having to read through the entire text. So use white space, okay? Other things that commonly go wrong at work that we need to revise for, these are obvious, so we'll be brief on this. A spelling, this one cracks me up. In our world of proofreading and all of these different mechanisms we have to make sure we spell things correctly, things still go wrong. So spelling, be aware of that. Grammar, oh my goodness. Grammar matters, okay? The word choice we use or the representation of the word can be taken out of context. So make sure you're checking grammar. Punctuation, okay? We're going to learn how to cut and paste, kids. Okay, when I say it like that, I inserted the punctuation, but if I read it as written, we're going to learn how to cut and paste kids, right? Punctuation matters. It's a biggie. Proofreading, names and numbers. Oftentimes numbers get overlooked because they don't leap out at us. Notice here the high on Sunday of 433. Or tastes like grandma. Homemade black raspberry jam. A little punctuation there would do wonders. Okay, so that is a very quick run through of chapter 4. Let's go back to our first screen and do a quick review. We just talked about number 1, conciseness. If I can go back here, I apologize. Okay, conciseness, number 1, enhance clarity, make sure it's readable. Proofreading, okay, think about spelling, grammar, punctuation. Again, spell check does not catch everything. And then most importantly, evaluate for effectiveness. Take a moment to go back and read it as if you were the receiver. Think about what is clear, what is unclear. What questions are not being answered? Go fix them. Because again, when you push out an unclear message, you are inviting confusion, you're inviting replies, and you're inviting, I guess, discontent for emails in general. Okay, so thank you very much. Chapter 4 in the books.